Ah, humans, what are we good at? Oof, that's gonna be a hard question. You see, I thought about this long and hard and I realized we really have a talent. We have a talent for fucking things up. Sorry for the swearing, but there really isn't any other way to put it. I mean, human brains and humans are quite remarkable, but at the same time, we have a real tendency of making twats of ourselves. For starters, we're just way too cocky, and we keep thinking that we're stronger than nature. Spoiler alert. We're not. I mean, if there's one guy that showed us that we can't control nature, it's Thomas Austin. You see, Thomas Austin was an Englishman. No, binge drinking was not part of the issue. The issue was that he was living in the colony of Australia. And we'll get back to colonialism a little later. And he was homesick. Now, he didn't miss Marmite. What he missed was the noble and graceful sport of shooting rabbits in the countryside. And one day he was sitting on his porch and he was thinking, man, how I wish I could just blow out a few rabbits for fun. And so in 1859, he made a decision to import 24 English rabbits so that he could hunt. 24 is not a lot, right? Well, here's the thing about rabbits. It's that they breed like rabbits. And by 1920, Australia's rabbit population was estimated at 10 billion. And these rabbits would eat plant crops. And actually, they drove many plant species into extinction. Now that I think of it, I'm pretty sure that's where raving rabbits came from. Hunters couldn't keep up, and the government was just getting desperate. The media and the government were just like looking for new methods that could actually control this rabbit population. They tried trapping, poisoning, rabbit-proof fences, but none of these methods were effective. But then finally, in the 1950s, a viable solution was found. And what was it? A virus. Scientists introduced a new rabbit disease that was called myxomatosis. And that worked pretty well for a couple years, but then rabbits just became resistant to the disease. So we're back at square one. Now I think we can all agree that experimenting with viruses is not the best idea. COVID-19. But in the 1990s, rabbit population was still increasing and scientists started to work on an island far away from the mainland, and they were working on a disease that could potentially control this rabbit population. Now they were working on this island because they didn't want the virus to escape. But guess what happened? Yep. The virus escaped from the high quarantined area. Oh crap. Oh, for God's sake! It started spreading and actually effectively killing wild rabbits. In a way, it was working, but we still don't know what the side effects of this disease are. So keep your eyes open. Although this disease managed to somewhat control the rabbit population, we're in 2021 and rabbit plague is still an issue in Australia. I mean, they even created the foundation for rabbit-free Australia. I guess what I'm saying is that Thomas Austin told us one thing: don't mess with ecosystems. The second thing that we do that's just an embarrassment really, it's just this horrible tendency to need to expand our territories while killing everybody that gets in the way. This is why we have such a long history of colonialism and wars. Now, colonialism, I hope we can all agree, was just one huge mistake. And I know that there's an argument that says, hello, thanks to colonialism, colonized countries have trains and were modernized. But to those of you who may believe in that argument, let me just tell you this. I'm not sure that choo-choo trains were worth the invention of concentration camps, African slave trade, sexual slavery, massacres, inequality, and the wipeout of cultures. But that's just my opinion. As humans, we also have this slight incapacity to manage disagreements. And instead of talking it out and communicating, we kill each other. I mean, just look at history. There have been plenty of wars. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there have been any giraffe wars, but maybe I don't know much about giraffe history.
Just to confirm, I looked into it and yeah, giraffe wars don't exist. They do have the occasional fight that I thought I might share with you.
Now, you would be astonished to hear that some of humans' biggest fails were actually on the battlefield. Take the War of Carranzabes, a war that started because of one too many shots of alcohol. This was in 1788 when Austria was at war with the Ottoman Empire. The Austrian army had set up a camp near the city of Carranzabes. As the night approached, the Hussars decided to go and take a walk to make sure that there were no Turks around. That's where they met a group of Tzigani who sold them barrels of schnapps. schnapps. Now, I can imagine that war is mentally draining, so these hussards just wanted to unwind and relax and party! So they started drinking, dancing, singing, and this party noise intrigued some other Austrian soldiers that were walking by. They saw this and they wanted to join the party, and I mean, I get it because free alcohol. So they asked if they could get drunk with them, but the hussards refused. They went all Gollum with the schnapps and started protecting it. This made everyone quite angry, and the situation escalated very quickly as one soldier shot in the air. And at that same moment, another soldier thought it was the perfect moment to prank everyone and shout, "The Turks! The Turks!" Even though there weren't any Turks around. At this point, panic. The soldiers and the hussards started running back and forth towards the camp. You know, one hussard started shouting, "Halt! Halt!" But the command was misunderstood as "Allah! Allah!" which just confirmed that these were the Turks. Don't ask me how they managed to confuse both words. I have no idea. Anyways, that's where it went to shit. Officers ordered to open fire because they confused their own men as Turks. Now, I'm not an expert of war, but I'm pretty sure that the aim of war is not to kill your own men. The result was 10,000 casualties. That's a lot of men for a few shots of schnapps. Right, so imperialism and colonialism were human idiocies. But what about democracy? Democracy's good, right? 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 Well, that would be true if we were capable of making good decisions, but are we? Are we really? For example, in 1981, the small Californian town of Sunol elected a dog as their mayor. To be honest, that's still better than electing Trump. The dog, called Bosco Ramos, was a black Labrador, and he was really appreciated. In fact, he was a very good boy. Oh yes, he was. Actually, electing a dog is not that bad. Imagine electing, I don't know, foot powder. Well, that's what the Ecuadorian town of Picoatza did. Wait, they elected foot powder as their mayor? This guy had a more successful career than I ever will. I guess what I can conclude from all these examples is the following. Even when we think we've got it all figured out, there's a fuck up waiting right round the corner.